shop to finally get the LS powered S10 out of the shop and on the road.
Alright, welcome to the Muletown Speed Shop. So the S10 has been by far the most popular video on my channel. So specifically with the S10 project, I think a lot of people have S10s. They kind of dream of doing an LS swap because it just makes so much sense, and you can do it for very, very cheap. You can have a lot of horsepower, you can do crazy fun burnouts and have a lot of fun, and it doesn't really cost you a lot. So let's just get to it. So for tires on the S10, I got some cheap Amazon tires. Shiny boy, cheap ass tires that we had to expand in order to get to seat on the rims. That was a fun thing. And in the rear, we left there's a factory like 7.5 inch rear diff. It's an open rear diff with 410s, and that's what comes with the 4-cylinder. So if you have skinny tires and a lot of power and an open diff, you really don't have to worry about your drivetrain. So it's just going to blaze the one tire, no problem.
Woo! Tire spin! Oh man, played significant one-wheel patch back there. There was no brake involved, just burnout. That was awesome.
Let's see what else. Fuel pump. I did a Walbro 450. You can get those off of Amazon. It's like 120 bucks shipped on Prime. The fuel lines are all factory fuel lines. I did put a wideband on this thing for a period of time. So what I did in my pipe that's coming off of my header, I welded in a bung that comes with a wideband kit. It is an AEM wideband, but what I did is I hooked that up in through my HP Tuners Pro interface, and I logged my, I was able to log my air-fuel ratio. Cam specs. This is it's an Elgin camshaft, but it's sold under the Jegs name. It's well, I guess if you search the internet, you will find a Sloppy Stage 2 that's made famous by Matt Happel's Sloppy Mechanics. It's a 585 lift on both intake and duration, and it is a 228, 230, I believe, on a 112. Valve springs were the Pack 12 18s. Head gaskets. So I used the multi-layer steel head gaskets, I think, for this engine when I put it together. The intake is a factory truck intake that you would find in a 4.8, 5.3, 6 liter. They're all the same. It's a Cathedral port. It's like a 78 millimeter throttle body. The oil pan is a muscle car, maybe a muscle car swap pan. Go to Current Performance. They sell kits that have your oil pan, your swap pan, engine mounts, headers, dipstick. The motor mounts are again from Current Performance. The transmission mount that I used is the factory S10 4-cylinder transmission mount. And let's see, the wiring harness is from Current Performance. It's one of their drop-in, ready-to-run S10 LS harnesses. I use the factory 4-cylinder throttle cable. The shifter, factory shifter, column shift on the S10, factory shifter cable, and it literally bolted right up to the 4L80. I think if you get one of these drop-in harnesses, all the gauges from this 99 S10 work. I made a full exhaust on this thing finally that goes out the back of the truck. Before that, in the last episode, I just had my shorty headers. They are Patriot 1 5/8 inch primary tube ceramic coated headers. I made my own basically header back system that had 2 mufflers in it that are, I think, Summit branded mufflers. So somebody makes them for Summit, but anyway, it's like a 2-chamber Flowmaster knockoff type of muffler right out of the header. And what I had was basically 2 90s from there, and it kicked it out underneath the doors on both sides. So it was a very short exhaust, and it ended right by your feet. So I made my own 2.5-inch exhaust that goes back from the headers all the way back basically over the axle, and then from there it's 2 1/4 out the back. It's tuning time. So I like tuning because it allows you to get really acquainted with your car and see how scary it is with tiny little tires and 410 gears and a bunch of horsepower. It's pretty awesome. So anyway, the premise of this deal is to make a small adjustment. You go out and you test it. Small adjustment test. So there's a lot of back and forth. But really that allows you to really dial everything in, so it drives like a brand new car. So, and as this thing should. When we get the truck all put together, we had a vision of making what GM should have built if they put together a real SS version of an S10. So V8, rear-wheel drive, light pickup with plenty of horsepower, something that's fun to drive and is not going to break the bank. That's exactly what we did here. For very little money, we dropped a V8 in this S10, and the thing absolutely rips. It's so much fun on the street. It's not overwhelming, but 300 horsepower in a light truck. It probably weighs 3,100 pounds, 3,200 pounds maybe. It does crazy burnouts. It goes great down the highway. It turns well. It stops well. Anything that you'd expect from a factory vehicle, this thing does. So this little rocket ship is fantastic to drive around town. You know, go to the feed store and get you know, food for the goats.
or drive to work on the highway. Who knows what's going to happen next? We could put a turbo on it, we could leave it alone and just drive the snot out of it. We could put a new rear end in it and a drive shaft and actually do some two-wheel big boy burnouts, or maybe we'll sell it and we'll build something else on the channel. Who knows? But anyway, that's all for the S10 for now. Stay tuned for more videos of other fun projects. I've got some older stuff from the 60s that I'm going to be putting together, and it's going to be more LS fun. There's going to be turbos, there's going to be LS engines, there's going to be a whole bunch of fun stuff. So thanks for watching and commenting and subscribing and all that kind of fun stuff. And yeah, let's go do some burnouts. Huh? You want to do some burnouts? Should we do some burnouts? I mean, not you. You don't have thumbs and stuff, but I could do some burnouts. Yeah? Yeah.